I'm about to share you the. I'm about to share the link and all that stuff. Gotta promote. We gotta promote.
Alrighty.
All right, cool. How's everything with you today?
Pretty good, man. How's your day going?
Chilling.
Yeah,
Yeah, chilling like a villain.
yeah. Same for me. I had an off day, so
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Megan, you're in the stream. my my dog wants like attention. Oh my god. She does this thing where like the minute I pop out the green screen, it's like, oh, he's working. All right. So we're just gonna talk about good old wrestling, whatever it's we mentioned on the chat and all that stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And whatever you want to talk about, just feel free. Cause
All
clearly,
right.
cause clearly we're live right now, so it's like, oh shit. It's like, yeah, I don't need to warn him. It's like he knows.
All right. Let me try to help get some people in here.
Yeah. Boom. Download. All right, I got the thumbnail. Live with the owner of EMW, Sean. Link. Click here to watch right now. Boom. All right. All right. Then I go here and I post it. Link in the stories. All right, we'll start like 7:10. That's where we'll start.
All right.
Yeah, should give us enough time. Okay, go to Comeback Kid account. Paste. Click here to watch. Right. Of course. Fucking Seraph is gonna go live too.
Is he? I thought he deleted his account.
It's the Freedom one, right?
I think so.
Yeah, he just went. He just went on live. He just
Well, I'll be down.
went on live. What's up, Amaya? What's up, Cam? Let's send it to Call Journal. How about that? We're about to start in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. We're about to start. What's up, Crash? Oh. Looks like Seraph is having a mental breakdown.
This is nothing new. All right, cool. I shared, I promoted. Same.
All right. Ugh. All right, guys, we got 2 more minutes. 2 more minutes. I'm going live with the owner of Epic Mayhem Wrestling, Sean Leota.
Yes, sir.
I'm about to go live soon. Oh my god. Stop. It's okay. Shh. Go to your crate. Go to your crate. All right. Live with Sean Leota from EMW. Link in the stories. All right, cool. Let's do this, bro. You ready?
Yes, born ready.
All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2. What's good, XVPW Universe? We are live with the owner of Epic Mayhem Wrestling, Sean Leota. What's good, bro? How's everything today?
Oh, I'm great. I'm on top of the world as usual, man. It's I'm feeling good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. You know, it's what? It's Tuesday, you know? We just passed by Monday, you know, having a decent week.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, for
man.
sure.
So we're just gonna talk about some wrestling. I know you wanted to be in this. You hit me up after what the first episode that I did with Crom, and
Oh yeah.
you want to be part of this. So that's what's up, man. I'm happy to have you on here. Let's talk about some wrestling real quick before we talk about EMW Epic Mayhem Wrestling. When did you started becoming a wrestling fan? Like, what drew you in?
So I've been a wrestling fan like as far as I can remember back. I know my stepdad definitely got me into it.
Yeah.
And the first memory I have is watching Brock Lesnar's superplex Big Show through the SmackDown ring.
That was a dope moment. That was the talk of my
Yeah.
high school. Even people who weren't even wrestling fans was talking about that, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and I had to be like 5 years old, and that's like the first thing I can remember.
You were 5. I was
Yeah.
17. 17 or
Man.
16. Yeah. 2003. I remember that day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was about to graduate high school already.
Jeez Louise.
I don't look like it, but yeah.
No, not at all. You look not even a day over like 26.
Yeah, man. So did you? So wait, did you weren't playing wrestling games during that time? If you were 5, right? Unless
Yeah, I was.
you was.
I was.
Okay.
the first wrestling game I ever played, SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, and
That was such a great
nothing,
game.
nothing has come close to it yet.
Nah, it was Just Bring It and Here Comes the Pain. It was those
Yeah.
two. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
the,
though
the one I haven't played yet from back then was Shut Your Mouth. I still haven't got my hands on that after all these years.
Yeah, man. It was great because the load screens weren't even that long. That's what made that game perfect. Is the fact that the load screens weren't that long, and Triple H spit water.
Yeah.
Me and my friends were
like,
marking out for that moment, like, he spits water, yes.
Yeah, and it's like when you think about all the little small, minute things that we just gloss over today, they were like big things back then.
Oh,
like
man.
You said, like the Triple H spit in the water, or
the Matrix moment. Oh, that was great.
Yeah,
the Matrix moment after you hit your finisher.
Oh yeah, the little cool,
the slow mo of hitting a 619.
Yeah,
even the backstage brawls were great because you could play anywhere. You could play in WWF New York.
Yeah, you could fucking jump off a helicopter. Like,
yeah,
nothing touches that.
Can you imagine if they implemented that stuff right now in these 2K games? It would mark out.
Yeah, and dude, like all the time, like I'm sure you get this too. Being a content creator, you think of like what they used to have in the wrestling games, and you think, man, if they had this now, like I could do so much.
Yeah,
I could do like so much crazy stuff.
Everybody's using mods, when back then, shit, we didn't need mods and freaking Just Bring It. Here Comes the Pain. You want to fight in a restaurant? You don't need this restaurant mod. We got you right here.
Right. Exactly.
You want intergender matches? You need to mod that. We got it right here.
Yeah, which is crazy that we don't have those in the WWE games now. It's especially since we've seen some on screen in the past few years.
So you started wrestling. You started wrestling. You watch wrestling. You're like 5 and whatnot. And what else? What else happened? What else? So you got into it?
I don't even remember the specific moment I like fell in love with it, but it's just always been there. Like I've always had the action figures, the video games. I watched SmackDown every week because I didn't have cable.
That was a great one. UPN 9, man. Well, ours was Channel 9, because you and I probably had the same background, because I didn't have cable till later on. So all I watched was UPN SmackDown, and I had a house in PA in Pennsylvania, so they would show SmackDown on Saturday, and followed that up was ECW. Because we weren't able to get ECW on like the tri-state area, like New York, New Jersey. So I would have to go to PA and watch ECW there and whatnot. And on a Sunday, we had like a local wrestling promotion. I didn't even know it was just because it was shot in a high school. It was a high school or something. And so we would watch that.
So for me, I watched SmackDown on Thursday. It was Thursdays back then on UPN.
It was Thursdays, yeah.
And so like on Saturday, when I would watch Saturday morning cartoons, they would go off at about noon. So then I would just start flipping through the channels, and one day I saw Monday Night Raw, and I'm like, oh,
was it Spanish? Was it in Spanish? Or not?
Yeah, it was on Telemundo. So I would watch it every Saturday on Telemundo and like listen past the Spanish words to like hear them talk.
It was great.
Yeah, I miss those days.
I would they had Lucha Libre AAA in Telemundo was
really?
I don't want to say it's AAA, but it was Spanish luchador wrestling. I know that for sure. And whatnot. I did not know what they were saying. All I know is it just looked like that. You know what's crazy? Yeah. I was watching because we're on the topic of Spanish and whatnot. Kayfabe is so real over there. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
Like,
even still,
like, I don't know. I think in Mexico was like, third world type of country, but kayfabe is real over there. Like, they don't look at internet dirt sheets or nothing. They just see these luchadors and they don't care about like half the stuff that's happening in the background. And I'm just like, that's pretty cool in a way,
Yeah, I wish it was more so like that over here in the States. Like which you can get it to be like that here and there, like every blue moon. Like if MJF throws a cup of water on a kid, people will start flipping out, or
Yeah,
Brock could do something and people will be, oh, he was shooting,
because it's
So,
crazy. Because I'm it was a documentary that I think I saw on Tubi or whatnot, and luchador wrestling, and I don't believe they have drug tests over there, bro. Like I'm looking at these old luchadors, and like they're just buff, and I'm just like, yeah, you could tell this guy's still on some steroids, man. Because
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I'm watching it. I'm just like, man, these kids are marking out for like their favorite luchadors, and I'm like, yeah, he look like he does drugs or some shit. But it's just, I'm watching it. I'm just like, man, these guys are nailing their stuff. They're botching. It's great.
Yeah.
These referees are so like messed up because like referees have their own story there. I mean, if you watch AAA, you can do it like they're fast counting, they're wrestling, they're like
all types of shit going on.
And I'm watching and I'm like, why are they like this? And I'm like, oh, they must believe kayfabe is real. Yeah,
insane.
It is.
And you see, like with other wrestling, like Lucha Libre and Japanese wrestling, I didn't get exposed to all this stuff until I was probably like 10 or 11 maybe. So the only wrestling I knew was WWE until then.
So you were 5 in 2003, 10 years later. So you're already into the whole NXT prime NXT Black and Gold then, right?
Yeah, because I think NXT came out at the reality show version. Actually, was like it came like 2009, I think.
Mm-hmm. Then
so
the good version.
Well, actually, a little before then. I think I was about 8, and I saw TNA for the first time.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah,
TNA,
yeah. And that's when they were like, in my opinion, in their prime. They had fucking everybody over there.
Hell yeah! I gotta say, Hogan ruined it for everybody again.
Yeah,
But yeah. Man.
Yeah, man.
So 2000, yeah. And you didn't know about Ring of Honor or nothing, because that was almost the same time. Like that was like Ring of Honor, best of the legends we see now, like Joe, Punk, Amazing Red, because that's TNA too.
I missed all of that.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. It's fine.
Oh man, and then it's like I didn't see Ring of Honor for the first time until probably like around 2011, because I was flipping through the channels and I saw Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin. I was like, oh shit, that's where they went. What is this place? And I'm like, bro, the wrestling is amazing here. I've never like, I'm like, they're better than WWE, like as far as wrestling goes. And I'm like, so that's what got me hooked on Ring of Honor, and I watched it every Saturday afternoon, I believe it came on. Forget what channel. But yeah.
That's what's up, man. Do you have a favorite, like, top 5? Your favorite? I mean, everybody has those top 5, top 10, but your top 5 favorite wrestlers?
Yes, I do. So my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time, no particular order: Brock Lesnar.
That's the man.
Christian.
Okay.
Mick Foley.
That's the man too.
Shawn Michaels.
GOAT.
And Chris Jericho. I'll put in there.
Why Christian? I want to know why.
Okay. So for me, like Christian, especially around the 2005, 2006 mark,
when they had a singles run,
he was just the total package. I could not figure out like why he wasn't a champion or anything back then. Like even as a kid, I was thinking that he was perfect. He had the theme song. He had a great look. His gear was cool.
He had the raining pyro. I love the raining pyro. Yeah.
He had everything. And when he went to SmackDown back then, when Batista got there as the world champ, I thought he was going to end up like being the guy. I thought he was going to be like, a cowardice heel or something as a champ. That would have worked perfect. And then he left and I didn't know where he went. And then when I first saw TNA, he was over there and I was like, oh shit. I watched all his matches there. And he was just killing it. So, yeah, Christian is amazing. At some points in his career, he was better than Edge.
I can see that. I think I know what you're talking about. See, it was crazy. Like there's a time where I stopped watching Raw and SmackDown, and I was just hooked on TNA. I totally missed that run. I missed the Umaga run. I missed the I missed the Christian run. I missed what else? So I guess during the Christian run, Umaga run, you're going 1-on-1 with the Undertaker, or like the Teddy Long era. I missed all of that. Yeah.
Oh, that was like the best, bro.
Yeah. So it's now I appreciate that Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels match. You know, yeah, because I like it was thanks to COD that I dated back to all those wrestling, like to those old because whatever I missed, I was like, okay, what was the big deal about this, you know? And it's just now that I'm rewatching old WrestleManias, so I can look back and I'm like, okay, so it was thanks to that this started this and this started that. All right, okay, I get it. Like what got me back was probably. What got me back into watching wrestling again? I want to say it was, I heard about the One Night Stand, so I watched that. And
the first one? The first
one, okay. Yeah.
Then,
then I watched the second one, and I think it was a good time too. I mean, Edge and...
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, the One Night Stands pay-per-views are some of my favorite ones. I frequently go back to watch all the matches from there, especially the Sabu versus Mysterio and the Dudleys versus Dreamer and Sandman.
Yeah.
Those are like some of my favorite matches ever.
I remember because I knew what got me back into it wasn't the CM Punk era, but it was because during that CM Punk era and Shield run, they were already promoting the WWE Network. So I was like, oh, what is CM Punk talking about? You know, because that's when everybody's telling me, yo, you gotta watch wrestling. Like, this guy's exposing the business. And I'm like, wait, what? You know, what are you talking about? Then, you know, I still knew the wrestlers. But I'm like, okay, you know, Nexus and all that shit. I'm like, all right, whatever. But then it was that promo. Okay, I'm hooked. All right. Then everybody told me, yo, you should download the network just for NXT. I'm like, okay. Are you guys telling me this because you don't have a fucking computer or something? You know, that's because, you know, because I was part of, like, because all my friends were geeks. So they would all come down to my place and play video games and whatnot. Oh, you should get the network. Like, all right, fuck it. So then I got the network, and NXT just I got my money's worth. Oh, yeah. So that was 2011, too. So I guess that's the time that you were hooked on it, 2011, right?
Yeah, I pretty much been hooked on it my whole life. I don't even think I ever had a period where I stopped watching until, recently. Because now, for me, it just doesn't hit like it used to. Like, I'm not as excited. I'm not as invested anymore. It's just not the same, in my opinion.
Because the golden era for us, I mean, was that 2011 to 2016 time. Shit. Yeah. NXT, then you had the Ring of Honor, then TNA was still somewhat there. You still had Lucha Underground. You had so many options.
Oh yeah. Right? I miss Lucha Underground.
That was great. Everybody said that AEW was revolutionary. Nah, bro.
Right.
If you weren't there for that Lucha Underground era, no matter how fucked up their contracts were, that show was peak, bro. I will always defend Lucha Underground. Like, like nothing was revolutionary.
That's another thing that I saw, and I was like, bro, like, man, I didn't know like you could do all this different type of shit with wrestling. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they had the scenes backstage they did differently, and they were like more cinematic, and the in-ring stuff was just amazing.
The random Spanish band that's playing in the background.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was great stuff. That was great. Even you had intergender wrestling matches, but the women were so kick ass. Like, yeah,
that's true.
That they made it believable to the point where like, oh man, look, she will beat this guy. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you know,
because like me personally, I don't like intergender stuff at all. Like unless it totally makes sense.
Same, yeah.
You know, like if it's Vince putting himself in a match against his daughter to fucking, teach it. But like not when it's competitive, really. But Lucha Underground though
was competitive.
Lucha
Black
Underground though.
Lotus Triad was probably one of the best factions in my head.
Yeah.
When Pentagon had to fight all of them, I'm like, yo, what the hell is this? And they were all dope. Io, fucking Mayo Ituani, like, yo, she has no neck. She got dropped so many times.
Oh yeah, and I think John Morrison or Johnny Mundo at the time. Yeah, bro. He like jumped from the roof, didn't he? Or dude,
There was one guy from CZW. I don't know what his name was. I totally forgot. But he.
Oh, was he like a heavy set guy?
No. He wasn't heavy. He was also in AEW for a while. But he did the only shotgun dropkick from that, the little general manager little thing, all the way up to the ring. And the guy was in the ladder.
The Angelico dude?
Yes, Angelico. Yes, Dynasty said it. Yes, Angelico. Yeah. I'm like, bro. That shit was epic.
Yeah.
Jack Evans, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, man. That shit was fire, bro. Oh, my God.
And so, let me ask you something. So, I know you mentioned you stopped watching wrestling for a while. So, what kind of got you out of it?
Oh, it's because I was busy. During that time period, majority of my hobbies that I did stopped because I was becoming a professional dancer.
Oh, that's interesting. I never knew that.
So on the back scenes outside of CAW and tabletop gaming, I'm a b-boy. For those who don't know what that is, I'm a break dancer. So
holy shit.
So all of that from I was practicing from Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, because Saturdays were mostly the jams, the competitions that me and my crew were in. So my Monday nights, I stopped watching Raw, Then Wednesdays and Thursdays is like, there goes my SmackDown thing, and also there's a time when Friday Night SmackDown was a thing, right? So I stopped watching. I stopped watching, all that, because I was so dedicated to being like a break dancer and all that stuff, and that was like years, because I was paying my dues to earn my right to be in a dance crew and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and eventually I got initiated in. But I was paying my dues in this whole hip hop culture thing. So so that took up a lot of years and whatnot. So until one day, one of my boys were like, "Yo, we miss you. Come chill at Ant's place. We're gonna watch." It was like an Elimination Chamber. I think that's my very first time I watched an Elimination Chamber match. I'm like, "What the hell is this?" And it was a time where I believe Shawn Michaels came back and he wore the brown. Yeah. And everybody hit their finishers on Umaka or some shit. And I'm like, who the hell is this? Yo, this guy's crazy. Yeah. So that's what got me back into it for a short period of time. But it was actually NXT that really brought me back, because I was like, this is some really good shit. And it was from NXT I discovered about Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling, because that's when I think they're advertising like a picture or some shit with the four guys coming into NXT. It was Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. It was like a group picture. Like Finn Balor was there. I think Kenta was there, and you see Triple H, and they're all wearing their black NXT jackets. So then I was like, so I wanted to research who are these guys. I'm like, oh snap! So there's Ring of Honor. Then it's actually thanks to CAW that I got it back into like hardcore wrestling fan.
Right.
Yeah.
I think the last time I probably like watched everything every week, it was like around 2016. That was a great year for like not only WWE but wrestling in general. Like you said,
2016 was peak, bro. That was the good time.
Was great. Like I couldn't miss anything. I even was watching New Japan, and I hadn't watched that much before then, but I'm just like, man, everything is hitting. Since then, it hasn't been that interesting for me.
No, I agree. I somewhat because 2016 was what? It was peak NXT, Black and Gold. Yep. You had the Cruiserweight Classics, right? You had the Cruiserweight Classics, and you had NXT UK. On top of that, you had Bullet Club running every indie promotion, top indie promotion, right? Then you had New Japan Pro Wrestling that's killing it. And that was a decent time for TNA because you had LAX, you had the fucking Lucha Brothers, like killing it, right? So yeah, I could totally, yeah.
It's like the only thing I wasn't watching back then was TNA, probably.
TNA, that was a good, yeah, that was a good time for TNA because you still had Woken Matt Hardy like making buzz.
Oh yeah, he was there.
Yeah,
he was. Wait, they went to they started wrestling for ROH too that year, I believe.
Yeah, a lot of guys were like dodging like from that time.
Yeah. But then I remember like the Hardys had a ladder match at a ROH. I think it was at Supercard 2016. Then the next night they were at Mania in a ladder match. I'm like, bro,
yeah.
It was insane that year.
That was a good time.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, let's talk about CAW, man. What got you started? When did you realize that Epic Mayhem was going to be a thing, or did you do other stuff outside of EMW? And was Sean Leota a wrestler, or you just created it? Tell me your war stories, bro. How did you get into CAW?
Okay, so here's the thing. EMW has always been like a thing for me. When I was a kid, I would make like I would make ring skirts for the wrestling ring I had, and I would.
How would you create a ring skirt?
W on it, and everything, and I would make the rosters and all that. And like at school, like me and my buddies, we were nerds too. Like we would even like make little fake paper wrestlers and shit, and name them, come up with all these names, make them in the games, all that. So EMW has always like been a thing.
That's what's up.
And I want to say around 2016. Yeah, it was about 2016. I was on YouTube and I saw Murph's YT13.
Oh, Murph's. Yeah, I know what Murph's is.
Yeah, and I started like watching it. I'm like, oh man, this is actually pretty fucking good. Like, this is cool. And I'm like, I've always wanted to kind of do something like this, but with made up characters, with CAWs. But I didn't know it was possible. So I just was watching him and started, taking notes and everything. And I was kind of doing E-Fed stuff that nobody was watching. Pretty much.
Tell me.
Yeah, I would stream EMW every day back then. And
so if is it the same channel?
Yeah, but the really old stuff isn't up anymore. But I do have.
I would have watched that. Yeah, if you watch early first season XVPW, like what the fuck is this? Be like, yo, for that time period, that shit's higher.
Yeah, it's like everything was so rotten back then, but I thought it was so cool. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna start a universe mode. Like I'm really gonna do this. I'm gonna do it with the WWE wrestlers though. So I started that. It was terrible. I quit. And I'm like, maybe I'm not built for it, but it's just so interesting. So around like 2018, I started doing. I just came up with the idea to make some sort of timeline with EMW, and I'm like, okay, I'll just do the computer versus computer thing again, and make 80s wrestlers, and let the timeline progress. And then I was doing that, and people actually started to watch. It was like 3 to 5 people that would watch it every time I would stream. And
so this is still YouTube. You didn't even create an IG yet.
Yeah, no, I didn't even make an IG.
Wow,
this is all on YouTube.
That's great.
Yeah, and then I was like, maybe I should like try to make Instagram page for this or something. Maybe people would.
You didn't even have a Facebook back then? You didn't have Facebook, or you weren't allowed to have a Facebook?
No, I didn't do Facebook for it.
Okay.
But yeah, I started the Instagram page, and then I started getting recommended to other pages, and I'm like, oh, other people do this. I'm not like the only one.
Oh, okay.
And then I started seeing more and more pages, and now I'm seeing, oh, there's companies and everything. So I'm like, bro, I could do this shit too. I definitely could do this shit. I think I'm pretty creative. I know how to, I know how to put a wrestling show together. So
Were you
I stopped
still?
doing it.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but were you still learning how to video edit and graphic design, or all this just came up to yourself? Like, okay,
Bro, I pretty much just learned how to do all the shit as I was going. Like,
that's what's up. I respect that.
yeah, I made up my mind. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start a channel, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna stop doing the AI versus AI thing. I'm actually gonna, try to make it seem like it's a real match.
What game was
Or
this? 2K18 or 2K19?
it was 2K19.
That was the
It was
best game.
2K19.
Yeah, still a
Yep.
good. Yeah.
And then the first one, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make a pay-per-view. That's gonna be the first show, and then I'm gonna do Mayhem, and then do pay-per-views every 3 episodes or whatnot. And I started, and then it kind of just took off from there. And I was terrible at graphic design as far as like making match cards and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
I just learned along the way. Like,
Who are the companies that you saw on when you made your IG account? Like
I
anything to
was
stand out?
seeing I was seeing I was seeing WSW and Dynasty,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I eventually started seeing WZW.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then I'm like made a Twitter. I'm like, oh, there's different companies over here too, huh? So
Yeah.
yeah, I like slowly got my foot into it, and here we are. You know,
Who are the first generation of cause that you signed to your promotion?
I know it was some of them are still there. Brendan X,
Mm-hmm.
Christian Tracy, who was on Collision by my suggestion. Lennon Walsh
Mm-hmm.
was first round. Kent Jones. There were quite a few. Jordan Callahan, I think. It wasn't like a hefty roster, but I signed about like 20 people.
20 people.
Jacob Helms, guys like that.
That's what's up, man. So when did you realize that you wanted to like take Epic Mayhem like very seriously? Like, was it the time when you realized that okay, I'm gonna make this social media account on IG and just like okay, this is it. This is gonna be like
Yeah.
serious or something.
I guess when I saw my channel starting to actually grow,
Yeah.
uh, like my Instagram too, and I'm like people were liking, and like it went from 1 like to 3 likes to 12 likes every post to 20 to 40, and I'm like, man, okay, people are actually watching, like, and they enjoy it, and people were sticking around for the entire shows,
Mm-hmm.
no matter how long they were. So I was like, okay, I can make this a thing. I think it's still very possible to get it to get a call promotion to the level of a Murph's YT13. Some people will
Yeah.
call me delusional for saying that, but I do believe with
Hey,
with the effort that I can continue to put into, and how much better I'm getting at it, I think it could be that big soon.
I still think that XVPW's rivalry is gonna be like I want the attention of like I'm trying to surpass Coalition and FAM.
Yeah, yeah,
I
it's
still think
possible.
that way. I still think I just need that one viral moment to get my
Yeah,
shit out
exactly,
there. Yeah.
exactly. That's what it is. And there's been some moments that I've had that I've like posted to Reddit or whatever, and they've gotten like 16,000 views, and I'm like,
How
holy
is
shit.
the Reddit scene, bro? That's one scene. That's one like account or something that I have never created. I created an XVPW TikTok, and there's some TikToks that like TikTokers, I guess, that I signed in XVPW, but I've
Oh
never
wow.
done Reddit. I never done it.
You see, so for Reddit, I don't see much cause stuff there, but I just solely got on there for the purpose of trying to grow my channel more.
That's smart, yeah, because you're
Yeah,
also a content creator. That's the
yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah,
And like sharing clips there, because like you just said, it takes one viral moment. So
mm-hmm.
I just created the account to have people see, what EMW is like, and
There,
and a lot of people have come over from there to subscribe and everything. So
there's there's one thing that I do. I went to. I'm pretty sure you're a geek. G4.
Yeah.
You know G4. Everybody, if you're a geek, you know G4.
Yeah.
So there were times when I found out that G4 is coming back, and I would just email them like a link or something, or like show them footage of XVPW, just in the hopes of Xavier Woods saying, "Yo, check out this car thing," and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like, apparently, I can't send it to WWE to promote, but I can send it to G4 because they're all about that geek shit and whatnot. And there are times where I would hope and pray that they would just respond back and say, "Oh, we're gonna air this clip. Make sure you check it out." Because yeah, that's like a closer to a viral moment that's more believable to me. Like, yes, I could do this. You know.
Right. Yeah. That's all it takes is just that one viral moment. I think it's coming soon, man. And like I've said a million times before, if I ever get to that level, I'm definitely gonna represent for the rest of you guys. You know what I mean?
Man. It takes a community. Like, I get it, you know, we have a lot of egos. Some people don't want to share, some people don't want to, you know, but it takes that one person to be like, "Yo, this is for us, bro. This is for us." And that's how it was with XVPW. Like, you know, like outside of like getting independent pro wrestlers to be part of the show, it's more of like I just trying to get every content creator that I know who's in wrestling to be part of this, and that was always my mindset behind it, you know.
Yeah. and you know what, with XVPW, I've seen a few episodes. I don't watch a lot of other call shows. I do try to support as much as I can, but I just don't have time to watch everybody. But
we can't.
It's
hard.
You know. So I have tuned into a few of your shows, and I like what you do. It's especially like getting the actual wrestlers involved sometimes. That's sick.
Oh, thank you, dude.
Sick.
I appreciate it. So I want to talk about the 2019 run till now. When did you feel like this was peak for you? Like this was a good time for CAW, since you've been in it for, because I've been in CAW since 2017 to 2020 on the Facebook side. So I've never seen the Instagram side till 2 years later. So you were here for most of the Facebook popularity run until now. Yeah. So I do consider you, and funny enough, like a legend or an elder of this community. You know, so you technically saw this community grow. Judging by your followers too, I can see you're pretty up there. So I can ask you this: like, when was it peak for you?
It had to have been like sometime in 2020 or 2021. I have a lot of memories of not only my show having some great moments, but other people's shows having great moments, because I feel like that's when like people started making more realistic calls. People started learning how to do matches better. Like everybody started progressing around the same time, and some started progressing better than others too. So they would just pull out all their fucking tricks around that time, and like everything was so cool. But this year is pretty good too, though. I'm not gonna lie. So far, this is probably, I don't know, this is probably one of the best years in CAW so far.
Do you feel it had to do? Side. Do you feel it had to do with the game itself? Because nobody fucked with 20.
Oh yeah.
Nobody fucked with 2K20. They tried. They tried, but nah. I don't.
Yeah, I couldn't even do anything with that. And I was one of the people that was like, you know, gonna attempt to. I'm like, well, you know, if anybody could do this, I could. But no, it was impossible.
Yeah,
it was. I just couldn't play it. So, but yeah, the game, 2K19 was one of the best games built for, you know, content creators and stuff. So the newer ones, 22 and 23, not as creator friendly, I would say. But it looks good. And the mods are helping too.
The mods do help, and I do like 23 for the fact that they brought back some AI implements of 2K19, which is like the natural roll out the ring, crawl to the rope, stuff like that. Cause that's why I considered the AI is selling your shit. Because in 20,
Yeah.
they didn't have that. You had to create,
Yeah.
that, which hurt me so much, bro. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, 20. No, it was 22. I'm sorry, it was 22 who like that because you couldn't fuck with 20, so 22 was decent enough to like okay.
Yeah.
But
And then see 23, it's like I do like that they roll out and crawl to the ropes again, but it seems like they only do it at the worst moment, and they roll out a lot in this fucking game. I swear. It's
yeah,
like every time you slam them, they're gonna roll out or get right up.
yeah.
And you gotta turn the sliders all the way down to make sure they at least stay down longer, or you gotta play with camera angles to make it seem as if they're actually down. So yeah, I mean, and I do miss the little things that 19 had as well.
I,
They
I
took
still
a
I,
lot of that.
I still consider
Yeah.
19 the best game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like even the promos and the fucking
Yeah.
like the video clips. That's
Yeah.
like great.
You could manipulate the camera and create a video back
Exactly.
then. It's
Yeah.
just like, man.
In 2K18, it was actually pretty good too for the video clips.
Yeah.
I wish I still had. It's funny because I didn't start doing the face scan and everything till 2K19. So I do miss 2K18 for that. It's like all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I got a question now, man. The cause. Do you feel because you're pretty much here you've seen everybody's run thus far. Any top cause that stand out to you as like one of the goats of this community, or like uh I guess you could say the Rock, Austin, Jericho, that whole Attitude Era cause where like, okay, these guys paved the way. Is there any cause that stand out to you like that?
Um. Uh. I feel like the people that I think that about, they're still going strong. Pretty much like Trey Mercer, Crom, CZB, Bad Amy. Those are some people I think of immediately who are just perfect characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I've been seeing a lot of comparison between Crom and CZB. To me, I've said like it's almost like having Michael Jordan and LeBron in the same era. They're almost identical. Like, it, you can't quite say who's better than who when it comes to them because they're so great. You know what I mean? And I'm not just blowing smoke because they are my friends, but they're just great. They're one of one, and so is Bad Amy. I don't feel like a lot of people talk about what she does, bro. She's amazing, and she doesn't really do voice promos that much, but it's like everything else that she does do makes up for that.
Her production is
Yeah.
that her own production that she does?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
cool because I remember seeing her clip and I'm just like, oh, this is unique.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, I don't because I'm so scared with these like female cuss. I don't know if they're a guy or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because I swear if a person wanted to be a catfisher, this is the perfect platform for that shit.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm just like, who am I talking to? Like that's why it's rare. It's very rare for me to approach like a female call because I don't know who the fuck I'm talking to if you're legit or not. So like I just don't fuck around with it till I see some type of proof of my own. Okay, that's a legit female doing a female call. It's not like I'm trying to get with her. I just want to make sure who the fuck I'm talking to. you know. So yeah, but that's what's up, man. I remember when I first got into the IG scene of it. Bad Amy was one of the people like, oh, this is pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And a key word that you said not too long ago just now was unique. Like everybody that I named, they're all unique. Like they have inspirations and everything, but they're their own people. Like they have their own name, they have their own look. They're all very unique, and that's like what I look for when I'm signing people too.
Yeah,
is like somebody who's unique, not somebody trying to be like. You can obviously tell, okay, that's supposed to be like a Kenny Omega, you know, or a CM Punk variant, like, you know what I mean?
So like Lionel Sua or something.
Yeah, Lionel Sua. Yeah.
What's your impressions of Lionel Sua, man?
Bro, Lionel. Look, I don't even know what to say, bro.
Come
It's
on, live
just
and direct, bro. Live and direct. There's the reason why I call it live and direct. I want, bro. Tell me.
okay. Here's my thing with Leo.
Okay.
Right. He's one of those guys that owns a company and he pushes himself in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. He was the champion, from my understanding, the champion for the majority of the time he's been there. Hasn't been pinned since so and so. And I just fucking hate it when guys do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if you can get over in somebody else's shit, you know what I'm saying? That's when you're popping. If you gotta make a company put yourself over in that company, then you're fucking whack. You're a tryhard.
I mean, Dusty put himself over in NWA for a while.
Well, but see, that's Dusty. You know what I mean? It's just, it worked. But, and a lot of old owners did that shit too. Vern Gagne did that shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was the champion for what, like 18 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just, I hate it when guys do that. It's annoying. I would never do that. Like, I made a vow to never put my own title on myself.
You know what's funny? I do believe in that too. But yeah, seeing that this is Caw, it's it's very hard to have a consistent, loyal champion because
that is true.
Because this is Caw. You know, and like I said, you're gonna get catfish because you don't, and you know sometimes you have kids playing this games, you know, or like so that immaturity or the life happens. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's very hard to have that consistent champion, and I've been cursed with that in XVPW, and like, you know, because some people, you know, the whole saying of, oh, y'all take this too seriously, blah blah blah. But judging by your character, Sean, me, and Wade, we could tell that we do somewhat take this, you know, seriously in a way because we run, because we are not only promoters, but we are also content creators, and we do our best to be consistent. But we do rely on others technically because they are our champions. We book them as our champions, but oh my bad, bro. You know, life happens, and I gotta drop the title, but I just put it on you. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know. Okay, here we go. Another tournament.
Right. Yeah.
So,
I do get it in that sense, but it's like, okay, with a Leo Sua, he has all these guys that could be champion of anywhere. Like CZB is over there. Why is he? Why isn't he in the position that Leo is? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got I think Carter Young is over there. He's world championship material. Jay Fontaine is over there. He's world championship material. And it just, knowing what I know about Leo, and again, I don't hate the guy. I'm just saying off of observation.
Of course.
He just comes across as the guy that would, you know, do the shit that he's doing, just putting himself over because he thinks he's that great. You know? And I've talked to him before too. Like I was gonna sign him a while ago, but I went back on it because I don't like signing people who just think they have to be booked like Brock Lesnar everywhere they go. You know, because I like pitched something. He was like, oh, well, I don't know about that. I'm a badass that looks well. I'm like, I just hate that shit.
Yeah, I that I can understand for sure.
Yeah,
most definitely. It's hard. You know, what you talk about booking. What is the hardest booking stuff you ever planned? You know, like for me, it's hard for me to book somebody with that Goldberg streak. It's hard for me to book streaks. Like I'm like, like I always felt like that shit has to happen naturally till I see it. Like, oh shit, this person's undefeated. But to find a person and say, hey, like, I want to give you the streak story. Let's see if I can pull it off. It's hard for me to pull that shit, especially dark characters. it's hard for me to book that shit. Like, what you ever had that issue?
Um, there like it's not so hard for me to book things because when I book something, I pretty much I write backwards, right?
Yeah, same. I do that
So
too.
yeah,
Like
so
I have this big show. This person's gonna
yeah,
win it, so I have to tell a 5 episode story of how to
yeah,
build that up. Yeah, I do that too.
yeah. So I pretty much my biggest show, my WrestleMania is called Lasting Legacy. So that's where I will write the end to every story, all the matches that I want to see on that card,
Hmm.
and I would just write how they get there, their journey. That's never really too hard, but the hard thing to do is when something doesn't happen the way you want it to, like somebody leaves
Yeah.
or stuff like that. Booking around that stuff, that's kind of hard because I got to think about not only what they would want to see, but what would make sense for the story and how I could still get the big payoff at the end.
Hmm.
That's pretty difficult, and I've done, but it always works out so great though. Like Brian the Brain Carter versus Crom.
Hmm.
That was one of the things I had to do. That wasn't supposed to happen.
Oh
I
shit. Yeah.
was Yeah, I was supposed to. It was supposed to be JJ versus Crom, and I was gonna make it a squash match. But I forgot what happened
Hmm.
in between to make the match not happen. But Brian was supposed to be on the show for like a couple years now, and I just couldn't get around to getting his debut in order how I wanted it because he was supposed to go like against Jordan Callahan or some shit, and
Yeah.
that didn't happen because Jordan left. So I'm like, hell, I'll put him against Crom, and that ended up being a huge moment.
You ever had
So
like you ever had one of these moments, like a last minute decision moment where like I'm gonna put this in the show and nobody can tell me nothing?
um Brian was one of those. I'm pretty sure I changed the outcome. Travis Turner versus versus Carter Young on the same pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Travis was gonna hold the belt.
Uh
He was gonna hold the belt
huh.
until another big pay-per-view. And my idea was to make someone else into a big star, a big baby
uh
face. That's why I was gonna have Travis hold it. But if you talk to Travis Turner, you know how he is. So I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna keep booking this guy as my fucking champion. So I made Carter the champion, and it's working out much better.
So there was a time. Is it this is on Facebook? So I have a guy in my promotion named Zulet, right? He's an XVPW original. He's been doing like something similar to mine's like show, but you ever heard this social media platform called Amiibo?
No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
so that's where he discovered me. It's another like sharing like a social media platform and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But similarly, it's like similar almost like forums and shit. So I post some XVPW clips over there, and that's how I got him. Um,
Uh,
he was so amazed by the XVPW show. I'm like, all right, cool. So next thing you know, I signed him, and I think within 1 year of getting to know him, he discovered other shows that I do. You know,
mm-hmm.
he found out that there's a community behind this. Then he asked me, "Hey, boss." He's old school. I like his mentality. Hey,
Yeah.
boss. Like, do you think I can like hop onto this other promotion that I discovered? Like, yeah, but be careful. It's like a rabbit hole. Like, you know, because it is a rabbit hole. You like the more you discover Kali, the more like, oh shit, there's car relationships and what the fuck is this, you know? So so he discovered this new era promotion, right? And they gave him like a title. No, they gave him a briefcase, like a Money in the Bank briefcase, right? And this
Uh-huh.
guy's been holding onto this briefcase for at least six months or some shit like that. And this happened during COVID era, so I was ready for a load. So I had a lot of time in my hands, so I popped out mad XVPW shows, you know, left and
Yeah.
right. So he got tired of being in this promotion because they weren't doing nothing with him, and they forgot that they gave him the fucking briefcase. So he asked me, he asked me politely, because I was thinking I'm like Paul Heyman at the time.
Yeah.
He asked me, I did a Paul Heyman like Eric Bischoff moment. He asked me, like, yo, I got this fucking briefcase and I want to just fucking leave this Fed. You know, I'm like, all right, so tell me you want to leave. He's like, hey, I'm like, wait a moment. You still have the briefcase? Can you make, like, do you have a briefcase right now with you? Do you want to, like, air it out XVPW? He's like, he's like, oh, can I do that? And I was like, fuck it, bro. Like, this is a video game at the end of the day, but hell, I want that moment, you know?
Yeah, that's sick.
Then I told him, keep in mind that they're not gonna get heat on you. I'm gonna get most of the heat because I'm allowing this on my show. And let me tell you, bro, that show got mad views because he aired it out. He aired out his feelings. He made the briefcase. He put the New Era shit. He put it in the garbage can, and he just mentioned, I'm gonna be XVPW exclusive from now on. So if you want to see me, you know, blah blah blah. And keep in mind, and similar to what your scenario is I had people from also that promotion in my show. I have some of the rosters in my show. So with that happening, I lost like 4 top name guys from the Facebook community outside. I was like, damn. But one of them came back because he realized that, yo, I really love this shit. You know, they love XVPW. But for, you know, that was the consequence behind it. It's like, okay, I'm gonna air this footage out. But yeah, I even told, you know, it's funny, the day before I aired it, I told the owner of the promotion, hey, so I'm allowing this to happen to my show and whatnot. But I want to let you know, just to let you know, I don't want to be no surprises or some shit. And he sent me like a video message and all that shit. And I told him, like, you know, one owner from a promotion to another guy from owner promotion, like, hey, I'm gonna air this out and whatnot, but I want to let you know beforehand. And, you know, it's not gonna tell me no, I'm still gonna air it, but it's more like that respect shit. But let me tell you, like, a lot of people from that other promotion got so upset by it. But I said, hey, like, hey, the owner of the promotion was cool with it. Just want to let you know, you know, I know I'm still getting heat, but whatever.
Yeah. And I love moments like that too, that you can do with Call, is like actually put some realism to it.
Yeah.
When you can do that, you're smart. You're a good creator. And we did that with me, Wade, and Crom. That's how the Collision pay-per-view, it was all surrounded about something that people thought was real for a while. People actually,
because it started with Crom not being in the Naruto opening or some shit.
Yeah. So when you can take realism and put it into Call, that's amazing. I love those type of moments.
You know, it's funny, like, I love those type of moments too, but I feel like right now, with all these promotions happening and so many new people getting into it, it's somewhat, you just can't let that shit happen now, because I think too many people are, I had to say it, a lot of people are soft.
Yeah.
You know? It's
unfortunately.
Like, because it's hard, you know, because, you know, we want to have that nice kayfabe feel to our shit, but some people will try to take it to heart and be like, yo, like, are you working me into a shoot, brother? Like, you know.
Yeah, bro, you know, the silliest shit to me ever is when, like, you're trying to book 2 guys against each other on Call, and they're like, oh, I'm not wrestling him. Bro, you're not even, like, actually there with the person. It's a video game, bro. What are you saying you're not going to work with him? Like, what? That's so stupid to me.
It's just how it is, you know? And it's funny enough, in my promotion, like, I understand how many people don't like Gabe Gates in this community, but he's one of the most down-to-earth people, and that's the reason why I still have him in my roster. It was actually it's actually thanks to Gabe that I got into this community, and he told me a lot of good stuff about people. It's just some people just do dumb shit, and he'll just block them and unfollow them, you know. And I still have people in my promotion that still respect Gabe, like a Brock Pierce or a Crom. Hell, the owner of NWF is an XVPW, and I still have Gabe in an XVPW, so it's like more like they want to work at XVPW because they love the show. It's not like they hate each other. They're like, yo, you're here for the same reason why I'm here. I loved XVPW. All right, work. You know.
Yeah.
I just wish because I'm technically the owner of a promotion, so I'm technically a Vince McMahon. Vince has to deal with Brett and Shawn in the 90s. Like, can you imagine how that feels like? And this is fucking Cobb, bro. So I was like, everybody's not gonna get along with the same people. I understand that, but at least work and pop out a good fucking product. That's the way I think about it.
Yeah, same. It's just hell. Even if because bro, I'm not gonna lie. There've been people on my roster that I don't necessarily like, but I'm like, hell, they make sense, to be here. Yeah, it makes sense to sign them. Like, and if I was just a call wrestler, I would work with anybody. I don't care how I felt about whoever. If it made sense and if the promoter wanted it, I would fucking do it. It's a fucking video game, bro. Like I don't understand.
Yeah, I totally get it, man. Like I had people leave because so and so blocked somebody, and I'm like, so what does that got to do with me? Like, it's like, what does that got to do? Want me to talk to him? Like I don't get that. Like, what are you, 5? Like, so you're leaving my promotion because so and so unfollowed you or unblocked you? Like, what the hell?
Some of the people don't even know how whoever they're beefing with. They don't even know how they look in real life. Yeah, so they're like beefing with pixels, bro. It's so stupid. It's
like,
so insane.
Like, and it's just weird, and like it's like, okay, I guess you're doing me a favor because you want to leave, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna fight for you to come back. Like, you want to leave. Like, I'm fucking 37, bro. Like.
Yeah.
Like I have HLR matches to work on, and thanks to you, I have to like not do that no more and like worry about this. No, stop.
Yeah.
Pineapples, bro. Pineapples. Stop. Yeah. What's the craziest drama you had to deal with, bro?
Okay. Immediately this pops into my head. You weren't around for this.
Thank God.
But I'm pretty sure everybody that's watching already knows what I'm thinking. So back around 2020, which was my rookie year in, doing like HLR call shit over here. So when the women's wrestlers, when I would like grab their characters, some of them would have, I don't really know how to explain it other than calling them skin shorts.
Okay.
Like they would put, you know how they like put on the MVP attire and kind of like paint over it, like they paint their actual gear over it or whatever.
Okay.
And you could like see it. You could like see it, and it would look so dumb to me. And I made like an announcement or whatever. I'm like, and I was specifically talking to my roster. I didn't have a group chat or anything at that time.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, and I like circled it. I'm like, yeah, I don't want this. I don't like how it looks. It looks just clunky to me. And so I would prefer if you guys don't have it. It's banned here or whatever.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, I get like, no lie, about 60 DMs. Every single one of my posts are getting commented on by all the like female calls.
Oh my God.
And they're like flooding my DMs. And like, I was not backing down either. Like
you're like the Jon Snow with the sword and like a bunch of forces are coming at you.
Yeah. Like every message, every comment I was responding to, and I pretty much was just roasting everybody. And I'm like, yeah, bro, fuck you. Yeah, yo, just talking shit to everybody. And and then the girl, because there was a screenshot that I took, and I guess it was a girl call on Twitter. It was like her actual call, and then she DM me and she was like, could you please take this down or whatever? I'm like, I'm like, sure, but get your fucking army of, and then I'll take it down. And then, everything got sorted out. But definitely crazy drama.
I'm in a way happy that I don't have no female cause and that I have to deal with that shit. Like, I would love to have a female roster in XVPW. I would love to have that, but I'm happy I don't have to deal with that.
Yeah, you got to be very, very careful getting female calls.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely, bro. Shit. I'm like I said, I'm scared of just messaging them because I don't know who the fuck I'm talking to. It's like,
and a lot of them, bro, like they'll even those are a lot of their calls. I'm not saying all of them for the record, but a lot of the female calls act like they're fucking celebrities, bro. It's so cringe.
I bet. Trust me, I bet. I bet, bro.
It's like you ask them like, do they want to sign, and they just like leave you on scene, or you can tell they're purposefully not following you back and shit. You know, just little stupid shit. It's so cringe.
Like I said, it's a perfect catfish fucking story for like MTV, bro. Can you imagine that's an episode of MTV Catfish right away?
Oh my gosh.
It could fucking happen.
Yeah. That would be insane.
I was playing a video game and I fell in love with this car and I found out it's like a fucking guy or some shit. It's this fucking perfect catfish story.
Oh man. Now I want to see that.
Oh man. So I gotta tell you, what made you want to be Crom's manager? How did that happen?
So that all happened organically too. It kind of just happened with the EMWZW stuff. And mind you, I forgot to mention this earlier, but when you were talking about booking streaks and stuff, Crom is undefeated in EMW, and he's been holding the belt for like 900 plus days, and I had no clue. So all that was
naturally.
All that was done unintentionally. It just happened.
Yeah.
Most of everything with Crom has just happened. So, with EMWZW, Wade just shot me a DM and he asked me, "Hey, do you want to fill in for Dynasty for Collision?" I'm like immediately I want to say yes, but just let me take a second to make sure I can actually do it.
Yeah.
And
that was a big show. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was, next thing you know, we're like, Wade's giving me all the details. He's like, okay, so like this is gonna happen on a show or whatever. And I forgot who came up with me and Crom coming out on stage together, but that's what sparked me being his manager. I forget if it was Crom or Wade that came up with that idea, but that's what started it all. And then we just stuck to it because we thought it would, it just makes sense.
Is Sean Liotta used to be a wrestler, or you decided to make like an account as like an owner account and all that stuff?
Yeah. So his story is that he was a indie wrestler, and like he had neck problems or whatever, and he stopped wrestling, but he knew a lot of people from the business, and he ended up starting a school and then working his way up to run a promotion, and then he bought EMW. And it's like EMW was defunct in 2002, and he ended up picking it up years later and restarting it. So that's like the whole little storyline of Sean Liotta.
So I never knew much about Sean Liotta. I do remember following EMW when Gates brought me into the Instagram scene. One of the videos that stuck out to me happened not too long ago from you, and I'm like, this is fucking great. You did a Joe Rogan thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I want to do that some more too. I feel like
I felt like that was probably one of the best like edits that I've seen from your account. It was. Then you did another one. I forgot what it is, but it was.
Oh yeah, I was doing a bunch of stuff for like the stupid album that I made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you always? Did you always want to be doing stuff like that, or like did it just come natural to you, or because those are some like really. I don't want to like, cause I'm a videographer, a content creator, so like I understand the stuff that goes behind making unique shit like that. Was it always something that you like mastered or some shit? I don't know.
Like I said, if you seen me do something for the first time on my channel, chances are that was the first time I even tried it. Yeah. So like with the Joe Rogan thing, I just thought of it and I'm like, hey, that would be a cool way to promote an album in real life. Why don't they do that? And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. And I wanna use that more because I feel like that could progress storylines in a unique way. Like having somebody on the Joe Rogan podcast, the other guy that would be fucking sick too. So
it was good. I saw it, and that's what made me more intrigued. I'm like, this is really good shit. It's like because nobody was doing it, you know.
yeah.
So that's what I liked about it. Is like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, when did you discover that about X? When did you discover about X? That's what I want to know. Because you know, it's funny. You were probably the only person that reached out to me saying, like, can I sign X? I remember when I came back, like, I was trying to get into promotions just so I can promote X as the call and also XVPW. But you were one of the first ones that actually reached out to me.
Yeah. So when I'm interested in signing somebody,
yeah,
like I said, not only with the female cause, but like with guy cause too, you got to be really fucking careful. So I watch people for a while, and I have like this little, you know how you can save stuff on Instagram and have it in a little folder.
Oh yeah.
I have like a prospects list of people that I'm interested in, and I'll just wait a little bit to see if they're weird or see if they're in drama all the time.
That's good. That's fucking good. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I've signed a lot of people off rip and then they do something like a week later, now I gotta release them. So I did that with you, and I had you on my prospects list for a while. I was like, his call looks good. You know, I like how he looks. He's
Shout out
unique.
to Gates for the face scan.
Yeah. I'm like, he's pretty unique. And then I was watching, I believe it was Midgard. I was watching Midgard because he's like the only Instagram. The only Instagram promotion that I like watch fully from start to finish every time they upload. So you were on there against Malenko, I believe.
Yeah, Malenko.
And I think it was your debut, correct?
Yep, it was my debut.
Yep, and I was watching the match, and it was great. I'm like, bro, this match is sick. And then I come to find out you recorded that, right?
Yeah, I recorded.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, he records too. Yeah, let me grab him. I gotta sign this guy. And then that's pretty much how I discovered X.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
I know. So in promotion wise, I think the top I guess 4 promotions in the IG scene, you know, WZW, I gotta say WWA, and probably Cardinals World Tour. That's probably the top 4 that I know and whatnot. What were your top 4 when you came into the Instagram scene?
When I first came here, I think the top promotions on Instagram definitely was WZW because we started in the same year, but Wade was a few months ahead of me.
Yeah.
And people were watching WZW.
Did Wade discover you, or you discovered Wade?
I don't know how that went. I really don't. But I don't know. That's interesting. I would have to talk to him and see like when was the first time you noticed DMW. But everybody was watching WZ. It's basically anything that was on the Dynasty World Network that was like the top things on Instagram, because they had several things going on that channel. So, you know, Dynasty, what was their show? Decked Out. That was, you know, a big thing. NXL, all that shit. I think was the most watched stuff over here when I first got here. So then later on, I got into the mix. So, hey, you know.
Yeah, man. So if you guys have any questions for Sean, put them down below. And this will be like a little Q&A and whatnot. But I got some questions for you, man. Let's play a little game. I'll mention a call name, and you just put like a 1-word answer to describe them.
I love this game. Let's do it.
Okay, all right. But yeah, for now, just put your questions down below, and Sean will most definitely answer them. Of course, Crash is gonna do the top 3, but yeah. All right. I'll mention a couple of names and just give me a 1-word answer. All right.
All right.
JMS, John Martin Sr.
Legend.
All right. Wade War.
Legend.
All right. Trey Mercer.
Exceptional.
Oh, okay. R-Dub.
Uh I don't even know what to. Okay, hold on. Great, goat.
Yeah. Was R-Dub ever signed to EMW?
No, I'm never signing him.
Is there a reason why you're never gonna sign him?
Um,
Or you ever pitched it to him?
I just don't like Rashad.
Okay.
We're not fond of each other. I don't like Rashad, but he is great in ring.
All right. Seraph.
Could be better. That's one word.
Yeah, could be better. Yeah. All right. Marco Vetti.
Decent.
Angry New Yorker.
Bum.
Why? you know, I got, as much as Angry New Yorker gets like some heat in this community sometimes, like I gotta admit though, like within 1 year he made a big name for himself.
Yeah.
I mean, him and I came out during the same time, So when I came back in Call as X, and that was the same time I discovered about Angry New Yorker. I'm like, who is this guy? This guy's making a lot of noise, and whatever he's doing is working. If that guy ever learned how to produce an HLR, he'll keep you dangerous.
Well, whatever Annie does, he'll never amount to what I've done. So
I mean, yeah.
Just gonna throw that out there.
I mean, you own a promotion and everything, and you're pretty, talented in content creating. So
I've challenged him, and he has yet to.
You challenged him? What do you mean?
Yeah, I challenged him to a match, and he has yet to accept it.
Huh.
So
interesting.
Everyone knows he's a Sean Leota wannabe, but that's it.
What?
Yeah, that's it.
All right. All right, we got some questions over here. Let's see what we got. How did Sean found Crash?
How did Sean found Crash? Sean find Crash through Instagram. I don't even remember. I
feel like Crash would be the one to like message me, hey, can I send to your promotion? Or
I'm pretty sure Crash was watching the shows or something.
Yeah. And
then we just, because me and Crash are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we just ended up talking a bit, and he's a funny guy. And then I was like, yeah, I guess I could sign him.
Okay.
That's pretty much how that happened.
Top 3 people you want to sign to Epic Mayhem, or I guess top 3 people that you have in mind.
Ooh, who would I have in mind? Man, Andy Jaden. I would want to sign her because look, I know her call is like available or whatever. She tells people, you can use it or whatever, but I want her to be, if I'm going to sign her, I really want her to be a part of the show. You know what I mean? I really want promos, and
that's how I am at XVPW, bro. It's like, there are some people who I have in mind, but I have nothing for them. So I do my best not to just even message them. Then, of course, there's people who I have a how to apply section, and there's only 3 fucking instructions. And like, yo, just follow the 3 instructions, and we'll get back to you. They have yet to do that. So I'm like, all right. I'm not going to sign you then,
You know what? I stopped doing that because I did that early on, too, where it was like, okay, just do these couple things and you're in. And they would do like 2 and you would never hear from them again. It's like,
yeah.
So I would just like get people and just grab their character and be like, okay, I'll hit you up for promos. Like, but other people I want to sign, that's tough. I can't really. Man, I can't really. V Kid, I would love to sign V Kid.
Yeah, him and I came out during the same time when I discovered about him. He was the only one that looked believable in Skeg. I think that's what brought me to it. Is like, this is probably one of Skeg's best talents, and Skeg don't even know what to do with it.
Dude, and see, this is the thing. I don't want to say I hate Skeg, but I hate that they do like exclusive contracts and shit is cool. I like the idea.
Yeah, same.
But
Same.
you have to be the right promotion to do that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't feel like Skeg is that. I don't feel like they deserve to have like exclusive talent and shit. Like, no, that's
That's
not it.
how,
Cause
it's funny. I got that idea through Skeg. It's like I have to make XVPW exclusive. Like that was my head. Like
yeah,
like exclusive HLR companies. Cool, I can see that. You know, exclusive EFED company. Like nah, bro.
No, that's so stupid. Especially
Yeah.
when you have somebody with the talent level of V Kid. Because
Yeah.
V can talk his ass off. So for him to be wasting away in a place like Skeg is ridiculous to me.
I would love to see like an exclusive, like outside of XVPW, you know, because you know it's funny, like XVPW is exclusive. That's if people just want to be exclusive. I don't force it, but I thought I'd do like, you know what? But to have an exclusive HLR company, that would actually be pretty dope. You know, like, you can only find this talent here. Like, you know, like, can you imagine if we all worked together and we did like a season of we're just drafting people? Like, okay,
hey, you know what? Like, a while ago, I've wanted to do something like that, and I think Dynasty World Network, they kind of had it like
they
that.
could pull it off. Dynasty could pull it off.
We could pull it off, but people would, there would be so many people to be like, oh, that won't work. So of course it won't, because everybody's saying that. But I've always wanted to do something like, okay, EMW is like the WWE, and there's this other company, they're like the AEW, they're rivaling, and then you got indie promotions. That would be fucking sick.
Like XVP, I can tell you right now in XVPW, I'm pretty sure 99% of the Hive guys, Gates, Malenko, Alex, and whatnot, they're like exclusive HLR to XVPW. What you call it? I think sooner or later, one of these days, I'm pretty sure X is going to be exclusive to XVPW, because being a a promoter, and a content creator is really fucking tough.
And then look, imagine if we had that type of thing going on where, you know, you could sign to different, you know, if you could sign exclusively to one place or wherever. Just think about if somebody, when their contract runs out and shit, and then they go to it.
Yeah, that'd be hype. That'll be fucking dope. And like, you know, in an invasion storyline will be even better, to be honest. Cause like, what? Like,
see, I would love to do something like that with Wade. I definitely would talk to him about that, but I don't think it would end up working, simply because we're just in too deep already.
Oh yeah,
like
of course.
We have a lot of the same guys, and I don't want to ruin his plans and shit, you know. So, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't even. He would probably say you're fucking insane anyway. So,
Dynasty asks, biggest hindsight is 2020 moment in CAW, like something you wish you did or thought back when you started.
That's interesting, because
learn Photoshop and videography, right? Or some shit.
That's definitely in there. I wish a lot of the stuff I was doing right now, like even the small things I was doing back then, like the little small things of putting the little watermarks on the screen. You know,
I wish details. I was doing
that back then. I wish. Oh, the double replay screens that I do. I don't know if you've seen them on my channel.
I seen it,
but yeah, I wish I was doing that back then, because I think I'm probably the first on Instagram to be doing that anyway. But you know, the sooner the better. If I had been doing it back in 2020, people would have been going fucking insane. And I also wish I signed some people earlier.
Like who?
Too. Crom, I wish I got him a bit earlier. I got him in 2020, but it was like at the end of 2020. I wish I got him earlier. I wish I got CZB right at the start. Yeah, there are a few people. Trey, definitely. He didn't sign until 2021.
Damn, really? That's just 2 years ago?
Yeah, he signed after the Call Mania pay-per-view.
Huh. Okay.
So yeah, I guess he saw my capabilities to its fullest, and he was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll sign."
I feel like Mercer does do that. Okay, what's the best? Like, okay, here you go. I'll sign now.
I the first time that I talked to him, I think we talked for about an hour, and he was just he was like showing me matches and little tricks and shit. I actually learned a lot from Trey. People don't know that.
HLR shit or just like
Yeah,
production?
yeah. He was showing me like matches that never came out and shit, and
Ah.
we were just talking for about a whole hour, and I actually learned a lot in that hour. So thankful for that too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
When is Sean Leota gonna meet Wade in Violence Unlimited?
Never. I'm not getting in the ring with him. Because he's insane. He's too big. I can't all that meat.
Yeah, pick your battles. Best EMW match you recorded.
Ooh, few come to mind. The Oleg Ivanov versus Kent Jones main event at Lasting Legacy was insane. That was probably the best match I recorded. The women's fatal 4-way from Summer Brawl with Bad Amy, Silva Sylvia, Isabella, and Louise set the community on fire. Like, people were messaging me like, that's the best women's match I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So that's definitely still up there. Lennon Walsh versus Chris Danger, my bad. That match was nuts too, but the finish was sour.
Speaking about Lasting Legacy, Kash asked, what took Lasting Legacy 2 years in the making?
I was dealing with a lot of personal issues. I was going through a breakup with somebody I've been with for 7 years at that point. I was going through severe depression. Oof. I gained a lot of weight. Like, I was almost 300 pounds. Like, I got up to the heaviest.
You're in your mid-20s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate, but not relate, but I can understand that mid-20s is a crucial time. You know, it's a time to have fun, but also you learn a lot in your 20s.
Yo, yeah. And then, like, just for perspective, like, when I left high school, when I graduated high school when I was 17, I was about 180.
Huh.
So, yeah, just last in 2020, being like 280 pounds, just eating all the time, and because I'm sad and shit. That was the heaviest I'd ever been. So I was so depressed. I didn't feel like doing anything. I lost my job. It was an awful time for me. So I definitely didn't feel like doing this call shit.
I could totally understand, man. There are times where I just do this, and I work a 9 to 5. So
yeah,
it's like, and what's crazy, people really do not believe it. It's like, yo, he works 9 to 5, he does all this and does this, and the way it looks like, I'm just like, bro, like to me, XVPW is my second job, but also it's a hobby at the end of the day. But I treat it like a second job, so I force myself, which I shouldn't, by the way, but I force myself to do this. So imagine when I came back as X, I had to do that too. So I'm just like, this is like, there's so much happening, but it's fun for me. This is my getaway. You know?
It is. Yeah. And you're also insane for being able to run a company and do matches for other promotions.
Yo, I gotta say, last year was my crack year as like popping at matches. Imagine if this happened during COVID. If I came back as SX COVID when I was furloughed, oh my god, you would sit in like one of the best matches, like back to back.
It's like on top of that, your matches are like some of them are lengthy. Well, they're mostly lengthy too, and they're damn good. So you're a madman.
Whatever Phoenix is feeling right now, that's me back then. Because Phoenix is just popping out fucking like this.
Oh yeah, Phoenix is man. He's getting up there.
That's that's probably one of the best people who I taught. Like I could take that under my wing. Like, I know how to teach.
Yeah.
Was it tough for you to learn HLR?
No, I actually learned like in one evening.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so did you see any HLR matches before that, or you just like
I think so, because like if you look on my channel and you see the first pay-per-view that was EMW Resurrection. I was kind of sort of doing HLR, but not really. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I would grab two controllers and try to do a match in one take.
Yeah.
And like with all these spots, but like in certain points of the match, I would, have HLR spots.
Yeah.
But doing a match bell to bell, I learned how to do that in one evening. That was the Summer Brawl pay-per-view. All those
Nice.
matches were my first fully HLR matches.
Nice. I
Yeah.
remember the first time I learned HLR after, I believe, on the second, no, I think on the big pay per view show. So I learned HLR. I had 5 episodes of XVPW done on HLR. I had the big pay per view that was also done in HLR. And on the last pay per view, that's when I realized that when you point the like there's an option in the fucking game where the camera targets the person who you want to see the camera move with. That's when I learned about that. And I was like, motherfucker. So everything looked like a fucking hard cam on each angle and the camera's not moving. I'm just like, yo, what am I doing?
You know what's worse than that? That I learned?
What?
So before when I was doing HLR, I thought you had to save the clips into create a video.
Oh God.
I didn't know you could like pause it and just preview it there.
Yeah.
So everything I was doing, I was saving it to create a video. Then I had to go back and delete some stuff so I got space.
You know what's funny though? I still do that. I still do the create a video. So in 2K19, right? If you save, because I learned HLR. I learned HLR on 2K19. I did that because I know that there were some spots where it would slow down the animation of a move and shit like that. So that's why I went on a creative video, and they'll preview it there, and it'll work out just fine. But there are some, and I also did create a video because I learned about alpha masking. I'm like, oh, right, this is great. Yeah. So.
Yep.
Yeah, man. It's if I could learn, like they ask, like if I could learn back something, I would learn that because it would probably save me so much time. And I didn't start creating moves till after 2K, till after the big pay per view show. Cause I watched something. It was a match that I saw, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, that move's not in the damn game. I legit had to message the owner and say, what game is that? What update is that? It was some ridiculous move. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Then it opened up another door for me. And I'm like, I'm gonna start creating fucking moves in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just doing I was just doing regular moves. Still good, still delivering good matches. But I'm just like, what the fuck is this move? Like, that's not moving that nigga. And I remember somebody alpha masked somebody off the screen. So when they did the Undertaker old school, they were just walking on the rope. And I'm like, what move is that? Yeah. So, yeah. Do you remember the first HLR match you saw that actually intrigued you? Like, what the hell? Like, this is actually a really good match.
Probably something that Wade did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably because, like I said, that's the only person I really watch. So, like, I've seen clips and stuff, but as far as a match bell to bell, that's probably that's probably what I've seen. Something on WZW or Dynasty could have been.
Okay. Amaya asks, any eyes you see being a big factor in EMW?
What was the question again?
Any eyes you see being a big factor. So I guess any call you see being a big factor in the EMW, like this is the future, or this person means business or some shit. Or like the face of your company.
Yeah, Jay Fontaine is somebody that I look at that I'm pretty sure will be the future, and that'll come sooner than expected. Isaiah Haas, he's new, but he's great. I think he'll be the future. Tyson King, people have certain opinions about him, but that's somebody else who I can see if he if he does everything right, he could definitely be a star. John Spyro is another guy. And all these guys are on next gen too. Yeah, I definitely see them one day being like world champions and being the potential faces of the company.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. Who do you think are your pillars now?
Definitely Crom. Man, it's hard. See, it's hard for me to do the Mount Rushmores and the four horsemen and women and the pillars because it's like there's usually more than four people. Like
You know
there's
what's
some people.
funny? I actually
Yeah.
explained this to Wade and whatnot, but I actually do have my idea of like a Mount Rushmore and a pillar and
Yeah.
whatnot already in this community. But for promotion, it could be a little bit tough. But in the community itself, I could see a Mount Rushmore ready and a pillar.
Yeah. If I had to like just think on the spot, which I am, it would be Prom, Kent Jones, because he's been the face of the company since the beginning. Bad Amy, she's been the head of the women's division since the beginning. And that fourth spot, I would have to probably say CZB. He hasn't had a lot of moments yet, surprisingly, but the moments he has had have been great.
Yeah.
So those off the top have to be my four.
NWF, National Wrestling Federation asks, would EMW ever switch over to another wrestling game if it becomes as big as WWE 2K?
I've definitely thought about it. Like when they announced the virtual basement video game, I forget the name, what it was, the Wrestling Code.
The Wrestling Code?
Yeah,
we're still waiting on that
like,
shit.
Yeah. When they were talking about like the things that were going to be in the game as far as like you can switch out the ropes for barbed wire ropes.
Yeah,
and,
that was big.
It's going to look realistic. Like I was thinking about it. I am thinking about it. So if there ever comes a game, which I'm pretty sure if that does happen, I would probably be done with Call anyway, but by the time it happens, but if there is a game that has graphics as good as 2K, can play better than it, and is creator friendly, I'm definitely hopping over. And
I'll
for
probably
people who have the
might
game,
mix the two. If I can recreate the arena, I could probably, because you know you're gonna be some modders where like, we're gonna recreate this arena and here you go 2K. I would probably mix the two together. You know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can deliver a better deathmatch in Wrestling Code than you can in 2K. So if I can recreate that arena from 2K to Wrestling Code, it's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So, what do you think of this new generation of CAWs and new promotions of CAWs? Because ever since I believe 2K23 came out, we've been seeing a lot more people getting into HLR, you know, and we have a lot more promotions coming out the woodworks, you know, making a lot of noise. What do you think of the new gen now, or the new promotions?
Well, to be honest, I haven't even noticed.
Yeah.
Like,
wow. Okay.
I really haven't even noticed. Like, I've only noticed the people that have been like right under my nose. As far as promotions, I couldn't even tell you like who the new promotions are or anything. So I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see how far some of these guys get, because I'm sure a lot of them when they started, they like have all these ideas and shit, and when they see how dedicated you actually have to be, they, you know what I'm saying?
That's where you know, it's funny. That's like the little. I'm pretty sure you can understand this joke. Is when a new 2K game comes out, it brings people out of quote unquote retirement.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Or what you call it, or it'll just people have these like one hit wonder promotions and one hit wonder cause.
Yeah.
That's what I always see, Mo.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, I've noticed that.
Yeah. Malenko asks, if you were to start from scratch, complete roster overhaul with the current scene of Claw, who are you choosing? Huh.
I'm choosing most of who I have now, and I'm probably virtually choosing almost the same exact roster, but with a few more pieces. Because there are some people that I didn't have at the start, or I haven't had, and they are scheduled to have upcoming debuts and stuff. So if I could start with everybody that I already have, but they just haven't shown up yet, oh man. Oh man, I'm just drooling thinking about
it. Man, COD is something, bro.
Yeah, it's a weird world.
It's weird, but it's also like I appreciate the good people in this community. Well, the good people that I've like experienced and had great times with and all that shit. Like, you know, getting to know them and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I do this whole podcasting, because I really do want to get to understand and know the community, because I know everybody. Because I know everybody behind the fucking call itself is an interesting person to get to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all definitely a little bit insane to started doing this.
I mean, we're role playing as a wrestler. That's really about it. You know, we're role playing as a manager. We're role playing as a booker. You know, but it's the people who run the promotions who I respect, because they are technically the content creator. You know.
Yeah.
Because they're the cause. You know. But the people who are running the promotions and all that shit, those are the people who I respect, because they have so much fucking knowledge. I can only imagine where you got your knowledge from. How much shit did you study? Or who did you listen to? Or what stories did you get into when you decided, hey, I'm going to do this whole promotion thing?
Yeah. And then, like, for me, like you just said, you're essentially role playing.
Yeah.
Right. But on surface, that sounds so weird. But when you're like invested in it, like we are, and you know, you get a lot of great moments, and you do meet a lot of cool people. To your point, you know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, there is a dark side. The dark side
of the call.
Yeah, somebody should do that. I would do it myself if I had time. I swear I would. But somebody definitely should do that.
Yeah, man. Like when I did XVPW, right? Or because my thought process behind it is, if I'm gonna run a promotion, I gotta learn from the people who had the promotions itself, so I can learn from their mistakes. Because that's what I do, people. I do my fucking homework. That's how invested I am to this damn shit. So I understand. I understand why Vince McMahon does what he does. I understand why Paul Heyman does what he does. I understand why Bischoff does what he does. You know, then I listen to all these fucking podcasts, Jim Cornette, and that's where I get all my fucking booking ideas. You know?
Oh yeah, I get a lot of shit from him too. Like, people can say what they want about Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
You know, people don't know how to separate a person from a creator. But he's brilliant, bro.
He's
like, there's
a reason. Brilliant. I learned that's one of the podcasts I subscribe to. Is that if I want everything to make fucking sense, or if I need a booking idea, I'll just look back at a fucking podcast he did. Then I'll go to Smoky Mountain Wrestling and I'll just watch it. I'm like, okay, I understand now. People wonder why that Crum and Trey Mercer match is fucking 5 stars for Call Observer. Shout out to fucking Jim Cornette and Paul Heyman, because those are the ideas.
That's a cool match, bro. That's a little modernized.
That's why I tell people, like, you know, for HLR, like, it's easy to learn HLR. It's the matches that are fucking tough. You know how many times I have a hard time starting a match and ending a match? Like, I had to look back at old matches and be like, okay, that's how they started off. I'm gonna copy that for a while.
Right. And then people don't know, like, a lot of people just assume, like, HLR is just moves. How many spots can you fit in? How many bumps can you make them do? How many cool... It's not all about that. Like, especially, with Crom and Trey, not only were all the moves cool, but there was a story behind it.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing, is the story. You can have a match with, like, very little bumps, and it can be a 5-star match if the story is amazing. You know what I mean? Like, It all has to do with story. That's why we just do this. I hate personally going back to Leo Sua. I hate to see a match that is happening for no reason. And don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about like exhibition matches because there's still a reason that it's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But with a lot of Leo's matches, they're very generic. Like in the BWF shit, it's very generic. It's just like, oh, he won the title from this guy, and so did I. We're gonna fight now. Like it's just come up with story. That's what gets me interested.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jay Fontaine asks, how do you handle character development and storylines for the virtual wrestlers in your company?
That's a great question. So what I do is, like I said, I write backwards a lot. So where I can see somebody being within a certain amount of time, that's where I'll book them. That'll be the end of their chapter or whatnot. And I start from where I think it's an appropriate start for them. You know what I mean? I don't like booking guys like straight off as a badass. You know what I mean?
You want to tell the story of how he became.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I do too.
Yeah. But like for Crom, he was one of the few guys that I did book like that because his call is a fucking a unit. You know what I mean?
And he's only one. I think he's only one of the few cause that were Titan type cause outside of Butterslug. From when I came in, there was only two big cause. It was Crom and Butterslug. So
and like so, just for an example, I'll give how I wrote the story of Crom in EMW. I had the idea. Okay, I think I can make him big enough to where he can beat one of the EMW legends, which is Crimson, which is a Brock Lesnar type, you know? And I'm like, okay, so at Lasting Legacy, he'll go against Crimson for the belt, but I want Crom to go in as champ. So people will think, because Crimson was undefeated, so people would think, oh shit, Crimson's going to beat Crom or whatever, but no, Crom retained. So then I write, okay, so how does he get the belt? Okay, and when I get all that stuff, I'm like, okay, so what should be his first appearance? So I was doing vignettes for him. And then at Summer Brawl, it was the reveal that it was Crom. And then the next episode of Mayhem, he attacked Kent Jones, which was also a storyline of Kent Jones losing a string of matches and eventually him becoming heel. So when I write for one guy, I'm usually writing for other guys too. Almost everything branches.
You want everything to connect in a way.
Yeah.
That's all I do. Yeah. Interesting. You and I have almost a similar mentality when it comes to booking. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You asked me about I think you and I talked before, and we mentioned how certain stories from Ruthless Aggression or Attitude Error won't get by in today's wrestling community. Right? We've talked about that. But you always you kind of want to bring that back into CAW, right? Yeah. Are you afraid of how people will perceive it, or you're just the type like, I don't give a fuck? Because clearly you don't give a fuck.
I'm not scared of shit, bro. Yeah. It's like, I feel like I've looked at the demographic for my audience on my YouTube thing.
You look at analytics,
it's 100% a male audience.
Of course,
people subscribe, and they're all around the same age as me.
Yeah.
So I know pretty sure they're gonna want to see the same shit I want to see, or at least a version of it. So, and a modernized Ruthless Aggression Attitude Era could be so cool. Who wouldn't want that? I feel like once I start get EMW full-fledged into that, it's gonna really, really take off.
Yeah, it's funny because that's why in the how to apply section XVPW you have to be 18 and up, because legit, like, I have in first season, the first 2 seasons of XVPW, it was legit. I made sure that shit was X-rated and all the time. Like, we had a general manager who's a cokehead who spends all the budget on fucking he spends all the budget on his drugs and whatnot. So that's the reason why we have the roster we have now. We had the fucking so we had a person who had the championship, but there's another person who I'm building as a top guy, and he's on Tiger's blood. You know, so steroid shit. Like, he was selling Tiger's blood like juice for everybody. Like, you know, we had angles like that. His fucking the manager, you know how they have like the room and shit like that, was legit casting couch. I stole a casting couch image and whatnot. So only Easter eggs like that you'll get it. We won't say it's casting couch, but as you're watching. So,
like, is that fucking casting?
Yeah. So that's the reason why. Like, I like shit like that because that's how I grew up watching wrestling. When I'm watching ECW, late night, the commercials was Girls Gone Wild, those fucking phone sex networks and shit like that. So I wanted to bring the aesthetic back. You know, luckily, like, you know, like, I stopped a little bit, but there's implements of little stuff here and there for that mature audience that I bring in, because that's how I grew up watching wrestling. So
exactly, See, and another thing that I really loved about the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era was like, you could have guys that would do the funny segments, or like they would be in a serious rivalry, right?
But they'll do funny segments.
So, and then at the end they would be fucking dead serious, bro. And the match would be amazing. Like Kurt Angle and Shawn Michaels, they did that where Kurt came out with Sherry and he was like, "I'm a sexy Kurt, I'll make your ankle hurt." And at the end he's fucking got her in the ankle lock. And the matches were insane. Or like when Michaels did the Hulk Hogan thing, and I mean he played around in the match too, but the match was actually pretty good.
Like, I feel, so it's funny because there's so many people who want to be serious and whatnot.
Yeah, they take themselves too serious.
And I'm just like, bro, like, have fun. Like, you know? And that's the reason why, like, in XVPW, like, there's comedy skits, you know? There's a bunch of comedy skits. Like, people may hate Fat-Ass Spider-Man, but to be honest... Even though it's a fucking piss break, I'll still watch it because that shit's funny. Like, I'll go back. All right.
Oh yeah, I was laughing my ass off when I watched Collision. I didn't see that segment yet, so when I saw it live, me and my girlfriend who's not a wrestling fan, she was watching it too, and she was laughing her ass off. Like, oh, that's black ass Spider-Man now. That shit was hilarious.
Like, no lie, like, because when I do my best to not only reach a call, because you're a content creator, so you'll understand this. We talked about it earlier. We want to be viral, right? Exactly. You're a content creator, so outside of reaching that call demographic, you're gonna get that one person who's never seen call, and be like, "Oh, this is dope," because you want to reach that casual audience. If you want,
of course. Imagine if who's somebody big right now? Like Brandon does everything. I'm sure you know him. Imagine like if he sees something of ours, and he's like, "I want to be involved in that." That right there would take it to the next level instantly.
Exactly. Like I reach out to. There's a guy in New York City who I just recently reached out to. His name is Machoverse and whatnot.
I know him too.
And that's the guy who I reached out to and called saying, "Yo, like I got this W2K promotion." I was like, you know, I professionally reached out to him and said, "Hey, here's a link. You know, if you want, you can send me a couple videos and all that shit, and I'll put them in my channel." Or there's like podcasters who I reach who's also into wrestling that don't know about CAW. So I'm like, all right, let me reach out to this guy. Reach out to this guy, because that's the only way you're gonna go fucking viral, technically, right? It's all about collaborating.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. It was actually a pretty good interview, bro. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, this was great. I've been waiting for something like this, man. I've never had an interview out of all these years.
You know, it's funny, CCB said the same exact shit yesterday. The last time I interviewed him, like, nobody reached out to me for an interview. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I'm happy I broke that cherry for you, bro.
Yeah, thanks, man. It was a great time.
Any plugins you wanna say? You can do it now, bro.
EMW Monday Night Mayhem will be out very soon, and Wednesday Night Warfare will as well. And production has been a little bit slow, but it will be worth it. Trust me.
Give it time, guys. Stop asking him when's this shit gonna come out, bro. He'll fucking let you know. I hate that.
Yeah.
Oh God, I hate you. When's the next video coming out? Yo, shut up. Who's your top 5 favorite cause? Just mention my name. Yo, I hate that shit, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's like, come on, man.
Oh God. Who's your top 5 baby faces? Just say my name. Just say my name. That's all they want to hear, bro. I swear to God. Exactly, in top 5, top 10, the person who's asking that question wants to hear their name, so just say it. Just fucking say it. It'll save you. It'll save you so much trouble. But yeah, man, check out EMW Epic Mayhem Wrestling. Follow them on IG. Oh, you have Twitter, right? Twitter?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, you do have a Twitter, so check them out on Twitter. Yeah, man. I don't know who I'm interviewing next, but somebody's gonna message me. I want to interview, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been a great time, man. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. I'll hit you up in the DMs. We'll chat it up again. Later.
Later, dude.
All right, stream ended.